Just when you think we're done, we're not. We've got a new tornado warning for you. Telfair and Wheeler counties. This is going to be in central Telfair County between Milan and Jacksonville. It was issued just a moment ago. If you are in Lumber City, I need you to head to your tornado safe place. That is going to be the lowest level away from doors and windows. And this is the best looking couplet we have seen all day. Spun up really quick just north of the Jacksonville area and is now moving to the east this morning. So let's drill it down in here and get you some roads. If you're along 319 in Telfair County, we've got Bowen Paget Road over towards Friendship Church Road. It's where I need you to go to your tornado safe place right now. L.C. Jones Road over towards Robertson Road, Lawson Jones Road. There's 319 right there. If you are in this general area, let's try to draw this up to the north a little bit. We've got Webb Cemetery Road, Briley Road, Old Prison Camp Road, Robertson Lane. We just mentioned that one. Bethlehem Church Road, County Road 119, Solid Rock Lane, Macedonia Church Road, James Horton Road. If you know this area, and especially as you get over towards Georgia Highway 149 to the south of Workmore and Cobbville, this is where I need you to head to your tornado safe place, away from doors and windows, putting as many walls between you and the outside as possible. The good news is we're not seeing a debris signature where that rotation is at the moment, but still, and it, still have that kind of around. And okay, those are the watch boxes. I thought another warning had popped up there for a second. I was quite confused, but it has not. So it's going to be this notch here just north of the Jacksonville area. So 6:25 in the morning, the time where we begin heading to work and school. If you are in Telfair County, I need you to hold still for just a moment. Don't go anywhere until the storm moves through your area. And if you're in Lumber City, I need you headed to your tornado safe place. And if you are in Telfair County north of Jacksonville, I need you headed to your tornado safe place. There's Milan and McRae. The severe weather threat coming to an end in both Milan and McRae. So we're not concerned about anything there at the moment. And this warning technically going to go until 7 a.m. It's headed towards the edge of the county here. And once you cross that county line, you get out of the 13 WMAZ viewing area. So we're going to stick with this for as long as this storm is moving through this general area, and then hopefully that will be the last of it for severe weather today in central Georgia. But yeah, literally going until the last possible second here. This is that rotation just to the north of the Jacksonville area. And Alex, I see you've got a track pulled up.
Yes, so I went ahead and created a track right over here. As you can see, 630 Cobbville, 650 into Lumber City, 656 Hazelhurst, 704 Uvalde, 708 Alston, 714 Baxley, 719 Johnson Corner, and then Altamaha at 724 right there. And once again, if this warning sticks together for that whole entire time, those areas at the end of that time frame will definitely be included in the possible tornado warned effects that we could see with this. But once again, if we do see weakening with this sign of rotation like we have seen with the past couple of warnings, it definitely won't make it as far past the 7 o'clock hour to many of those southeastern central Georgia cities right there. But right now we are seeing a good indication of rotation on our relative velocity, as Alex Forbes has been showing you. Probably the strongest one we have seen all day thus far, and really moving very eastward at about 50 miles an hour. So it has picked up the speed from our last tornado warning that we did have, which was moving at about 35 miles an hour. So really booking it, which is the good news that it will continue to move out of central Georgia fairly quickly. But also right now it is a tornado warned storm. No confirmation thus far of any tornado on the ground associated with this. So that is good news. And as Alex mentioned, we take a look at our potential lofted debris right there. Not really seeing much indicative of a big debris signature. Yeah, so I would definitely say that is good news as of right now. Not seeing a lot of lightning with this either. So like we have been saying, lots and lots of frequent lightning concentrated in one area, indicative of a stronger storm or a potential rotation associated with this tornado warning. For now, send it back to you, Alex.
Yeah, and I know this goes just outside of our area, but I know we have some people who watch down near Hazelhurst. They've extended this tornado warning now into Jeff Davis County. So this is just on the other side of the Ocmulgee River. It just, I think, really goes to highlight, if you are in Lumber City, I need you to go into your tornado safe place, because this area of rotation here is headed in that general direction, as Alex just showed you, and then eventually is going to get into the northern part of Jeff Davis County here, also southern Wheeler County. So about 30 minutes ago, we were talking about northern Wheeler County. Now we're talking about southern Wheeler County, the far southern reaches down near the Ocmulgee River, right along the Jeff Davis County line, and that's where this area of rotation has the potential for bringing a tornado here in the next little bit. So this warning going to go for the next 31 minutes now until 7 a.m. And then we're hoping that that's going to be the end of it. So if you're watching us this morning, actually, Alex, that's a really interesting
yeah, I was just
reflectivity signature. Go check that out in just a moment. If you are watching in Macon and Warner Robins, Perry, Milledgeville, we are done with the severe weather. This is down to the south. This is in Telfair County. This is just north of the Jacksonville, Georgia, not Jacksonville, Florida, Jacksonville, Georgia area, moving towards Lumber City and Hazelhurst, both of those cities now in a tornado warning. I tell you what, Alex, could you do some investigating on the CC? Because usually when we get a circular feature like that coupled with, is that it there?
Yes.
Yeah, so nothing too crazy, but there is 1 pixel that's dropped out. I don't think that's anything. Usually whenever you get, in fact, here, I can pop it up real quick and show you what Alex is looking at. Yeah, see, it would be that right there. The telltale sign for a tornado is whites and blues kind of in a very defined circular shape in this storm, or in any given storm, and we are not seeing that in this storm. So that's some good news there, at least in Jacksonville. However, with the current radar scan, it's possible that debris could be lofted in the air right now, and then we'll see that down the line in just a little bit. So as things stand now, again, the roads I read off earlier, we still need you in your tornado safe place. That's going to be really most of Telfair County, north of the Jacksonville area, and then also Lumber City and Hazelhurst. If you are in Jacksonville proper, this storm is to the north of you. So we're not looking at this coming through Jacksonville in terms of where the city center is, but we are looking at it in central Telfair County, moving towards Lumber City and Hazelhurst, and that's going to be here for the next 30 minutes or so. Do want to, again, highlight that Macon, Warner Robins, our severe weather threat has ended. We have been removed from the tornado watch, and really, I think you could take out another tier of counties as well. Lawrence, Bleckley, Pulaski, threat has come to an end. Really, Dodge County as well, and Wilcox County, some welcome news there. Alex, can I send this back over to you, and maybe we can go through some roads to be on the lookout for?
All right, so when we take a more local view at it, we'll go ahead and take this graphic full screen associated with this. So this is where we're kind of thinking the center of rotation is. I'll pull it up on the velocity for you and then get into some roads. So yeah, you can see the dark red by some of that light green right there indicating some rotation. And then we take it to the radar picture. So Highway 319 just crossing over that as we get into Telfair County and continuing to trek further and further eastward. So Highway, I believe that is 145. Highway 149 possibly, that is going to be next in line. So areas near Gumtree Lane, Country Road 148, Bear Lane over further to the east of this most intense region of rainfall that you're seeing. So these dark colors of the darker red, even a little bit of a flash of pink, the orange and all that. Continuing to trek to the east, so then we get over to Powell School Road, China Berry Road, Little Horse Creek Road. We get over to Powell School Road once again. So these areas are all in the direct vicinity of where we think this tornado warning storm is. Once again, if you are in any of those locations, go ahead and put that severe weather plan into action and get into a safe space in your home, interior-most room. Put as many walls in between you and the outdoors as you can, and also be away from windows. Continuing on to County Road 158, Dead End Lane, Fishing Creek Road, Horseshoe Road, and then further to the east, we're talking areas like Wanda Lane, Fishing Creek Road once again, Lonnie Powell Road, Cameron Lane, all those areas further over to the east, starting to go a little bit further south than what I think the direction of this is going to go. Dodges Chapel Road, Powell School Road, still one of the main ones in the direct vicinity of this. But like we have been mentioning, not too much lightning coupling together here, so that is good indication that maybe not necessarily confirmed tornado on the ground. And when we look at our debris signature and such, really not seeing kind of those whites and blues in circles like Alex was just pointing out to you associated with potential lofted debris. But we are still seeing the rotation signature in here right now. And once again, this is a tornado warning that will last until 7 a.m. We haven't seen anything from the National Weather Service since it has been issued. Actually, they did just continue it, I believe, and it has slowed down a little bit, moving east at 45 miles an hour. Right,
so I think we're going to keep it in Telfair County for just a little while longer. You see that outline there, it shows you the updated warning. They took out part of Telfair County, but you know, the wording is located near Workmore, We're 12 miles south of McRae, moving east at 45. So let's draw this into Lumber City and Hazelhurst at 45. Let's see. 45 there in Lumber City, that puts it there at 652. So, you know, it's obviously raining very close to Lumber City right now. This tornado threat would be in your area around 652. Which again is a little slower than that initial warning. And then that takes it into Jeff Davis County, right? It gets it on out of here, at least in our area, and moves it towards Hazelhurst. And that's going to be that. But Alex, this signature, again, is the best one we've seen all morning, and it's continuing. It's been several scans now of this red and green right next to one another. I just did a check of the correlation coefficient while we were talking with you a second ago. We're not seeing anything drop out. And when I say drop out, I mean, you know, picking up the debris in the atmosphere. And I want to highlight that if we do have a tornado on the ground, we would see that, because there are tons of trees in this area of Telfair County, and all it takes is like leaves to be up in the air to be able to get that correlation coefficient reading. Outside of that, we have not seen it just yet, but still the tightest rotation we've seen all day, and we're going to continue to watch that. Now, while we're watching Telfair County, I want to bring you some more information, specifically out of Crisp County. The Crisp County EMA director has reports of structure damage, downed power lines, and heavy debris. You know, they're asking people if your structure is not damaged to stay inside, if you need to be removed for safety or emergency services, dial 911. Again, that's back in Crisp County from about an hour ago. And this is near North Cedar Creek, and other areas have been reported and access restored by first responders. Still raining in parts of Crisp County as well. So that's the latest from there. Dodge County, we have not received any reports just yet of anything going on there. We did have a warning there earlier. And then, of course, we had pictures earlier this morning, and Freha is live in Houston County, where we had potentially a tornado that the National Weather Service called confirmed in the moment. That has caused some damage along Watson Boulevard and US 41 this morning. So this would be, you know, on top of all of that, as we look into Telfair County this morning and eventually towards the Lumber City area. Now, I know generally speaking, the area between Jacksonville and Lumber City is not too densely populated, but if you know that you live in those spots, that's where you need to be seeking shelter right now. Lowest floor, away from doors and windows, putting as many walls between you and the outside as possible, because that is where the greatest chance for a tornado is going to be. Let's drill it down in here and get some of the roads, you know, get kind of an exact location if we can. This red and green is going to be right along Georgia. We're at 149. That's where we were talking about earlier, but where it's heading next is going to be Powell School Road, Fishing Creek Road, China Berry Road, and in fact, Horseshoe Bend Road. Thinking about it out loud, it's been a minute or so since we've gotten a scan, so it could very well be over this area. And we get into Cedar Park Road, Hayride Road, Ed Varnado Road, Redbird Road, Fishing Creek Road, Johnny Curson Road, and then up towards Georgia 134. And that's where things stand at the moment. Let's see what this is. This beeping?
Canceled tornado watch.
Okay.
For some counties.
And a report out of Telfair County, the deputy EMA director, Jimmy Joins, saying no reports in Telfair just as of yet. So some good news there, but we still have this rotation here in Telfair County. So keeping an eye on it as it's crossing Georgia 149 now. Let's see, so.
Bleckley, Crisp, Pulaski, Wilcox out of the tornado watch now.
Oh, good. Okay, so they did drop that. Okay, so that's what that beeping was.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so Bleckley, Crisp, Pulaski, Wilcox. Good. So it continues for Dodge, Emmanuel, Lawrence, Montgomery, Telfair, Toombs, Treutlen, and Wheeler counties. And what I can do here actually is zoom this out. Let's see. Let's turn off the radar, and if I hit the watch counties here, yeah, there you go. So it continues here for this little corner, but really as soon as we get this warning out of here, that's going to be it for us. So some welcome news there on that front. There's Eastman, Dublin, still technically in it, and that warning is way down there in southern Telfair County towards Jeff Davis County and the Hazelhurst area as of now. Let's see. So moving into Lumber City, we still have fairly decent, you know, couplet right here. So the green headed towards the radar in Jeffersonville like this, the red headed away, and when you get that right there, that's when you get the potential for rotation. Let me draw this in here. So again, green like that, red away, right? You can kind of visualize the rotation like that. It's fairly broad at the moment, and we have not seen what we call the correlation coefficient drop out in terms of, you know, a hole happening, and that would be indicative of debris in the air. What do I mean by hole? Well, if I flip this over to the CC, you've got this reds and pinks, you would see a hole of white and blue. And we are not seeing that, which is some good news here as it moves towards Lumber City. But still, if you are in Lumber City, you got to stay in your tornado safe place for at least the next 20 minutes or so as we're looking at this storm continuing to move off to the east, Alex.
Yeah, and definitely one more thing worth noting. Obviously, if we are to get a confirmed tornado on the ground to the right of this tornado warning that you do see at the top of the screen, it will say confirmed. That's what we saw with Houston County earlier on today. Starting to see a couple flashes of lightning, not really indicative of really good strengthening in terms of this line right here moving through Telfair County. But once again, still having a general east direction. It did slow on down from its last reading whenever they did kind of take the western portion of this warning off in Telfair County. So now moving at east at 45 miles an hour. So with that new time track and direction, let's kind of time that out right there. So going to try to grab it just in the middle. Might have to extend, so that's 42, so roughly the same right there. But moving east around 45 miles an hour, so 653 Lumber City, 701 Hazelhurst, Uvalde 710, Cedar Crossing at 718, and then further if this warning is to get extended. But we're not seeing really any indication of weakening. We're still seeing that rotation signature on the relative velocity. So if this is to hold on up, 723 for Toombs Central, Davis at 729. And then Altamaha at 734. So really trekking towards the eastern half of Telfair County. That eastern edge might clip into the southern end of Wheeler County, southern end of Montgomery County as well, and then into the northeastern portion of Jeff Davis County, encountering areas like Hazelhurst. So big towns in this one: Lumber City, Hazelhurst, Uvalde, and then further on over into Toombs County and further over to the east. Those areas are time frame around 720, 730-ish right now, and going to pop back over to the relative velocity real quick. And as you can tell, you're still seeing the greens and the reds right next to each other, still indicative of some kind of rotation that is moving closer and closer to Lumber City, kind of local roads. Be easier to see right here with the brighter colors. Powell School Road, still one of those major roads that we have been seeing popping up just to the east of where the strongest rain and rotation is. County Road 175, Johnny Corson Road, continuing over to County Road 255, Ed Varnado Road, all those roads that Alex has just mentioned, continuing further and further kind of towards the east and northeast. Varnado Lane, County Road 172, Ernest Varnade Lane, the County Road 172 once again. So all these areas in eastern Telfair County, you guys are in the direct vicinity of it. Right off of Highway 134 is where this tornado warned storm is moving closer and closer to. So be sure to be in your safe space. Take that severe weather plan into action right now. Interior your rooms, away from windows, and be sure to stay in there while we do ride out the duration of this tornado warned storm. Alex?
Yeah, that's right. So we're talking about Lumber City, but then also areas north of Lumber City, right? You've got US Route 23, and I think that's where if we are seeing something here, which again, it doesn't look as well defined as it did 5 minutes ago. If we do see something, it would cross 23 just north of Lumber City with the intersection of 134 before it gets to the river here and begins to move into Wheeler County. So again, we're continuing to watch this. It does not look as impressive as it did, which is some welcome news. Let's check in what's going on here. Yeah, so still in Telfair, it says no reports. I do want to note that we did get, at least on the 511 site, some trees down in Wilcox County. So maybe that's something to check on there. I know Raymond's working on that. So maybe if we could check in with the Wilcox EMA director and see if anything has been reported there. I know we've got the reported trees down, but just some more details on what's going on there. But for the time being, again, let me back this up just a little bit and I'll show you what looks good. That to me is what quote unquote looked good, right? The bright greens kind of in there right next to the reds. That would have been your tightest rotation right there. That was at 634, and then we play this forward to where we are now, and it just does not have that look to it, which is good news, right? We don't want it to have that look to it, but nonetheless, the tornado warning continues. Want to give you a couple of all clears. If you're along Georgia Route 149, also along Route 319, I know we've talked about both roads this morning. We can give you the all clear from a tornado threat, but if you are on the east side of Georgia 149, we still have some broad rotation in the atmosphere, also right along Georgia 134, and there's US Route 23 towards Lumber City, Jeff Davis County over here, Wheeler County over here, Georgia Highway 19 included in that area where you should be taking shelter, at least for the time being. Alex, I see you're got the correlation coefficient pulled up. Maybe we can go back in history and see if anything has popped up in that.
This one right here?
Yeah.
All right, yeah, so just gonna zoom in on it throughout the course of this warning and then take you back just a little bit.
Well, that pattern right there caught my eye.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if we can play that forward. Yeah, see that right there. What Alex is talking about is what's crossing right 149, and then go forward a few more frames. See how it drops out right there? We might have just had a confirmed tornado in Telfair County.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's see. What they want to do, because if that's the case, then this rotation could still be going here. So 645, they just let the Jeff Davis warning go, but that is just as we were seeing that CC drop here in Telfair County. Let's see. Let me see if I can pull this up here on my end. So what I'm talking about is this right here. And normally I would look at it and go, eh. But what I'm doing is looking at it and going back a few frames and watch that track along with the rotation. And then it's, especially right in that CC drop, say it had hit something along Georgia 149, this is where that CC drop would show up. It's not going to show up right on top of it, because what happens is the storm lifts up debris and then carries it with it, and then it takes 3 or 4 minutes for the radar to come back around and scan it, and that's what's catching my eye, at least at the moment. So playing this forward a little bit, again, the CC values did, and in fact, Alex, where I was talking about the rotation being at its tightest, okay, there's 641. Mm-hmm. We flip this back over to the velocity at 641, and really just before that, so that's 641, and just before that was when we had the rotation at its tightest right before it crossed Georgia 149.
And also worth noting that rotation really not holding together now in terms of our relative velocity.
Right.
You're seeing the reds, but the greens are kind of fading away into more of a kind of gray or a black color right there. So yeah. Hopefully that was the worst that it did get.
Yeah, so that is the hope. And the other thing is, on the correlation coefficient, the values are not quite as deep as they were. We did see a white pixel and a blue pixel. Now we don't have any of that. It's just kind of red, which means there could be some remnants in the air. But at least at the moment, if there was something on the ground, hopefully it lifted. That would have been about 5-6 minutes ago of when it was on the ground. But still, all this to say, if you are in Lumber City, we still need you in your tornado safe place. This warning goes here for the next few minutes. If it drops something, it has the potential to drop something again. And the rotation most certainly there. Alex, we've been talking about the S shape all morning too, and there it is. Mm-hmm. Kind of like that, moving into Lumber City, and the center of that S would line up with what we're viewing as the strongest part of the rotation right now. Yeah,
and also worth noting, this tornado warning, was issued just to the north of Jacksonville, and now we're looking at another severe thunderstorm warning just to the southwest of Jacksonville in the Fitzgerald area, looking at that in, I believe, Ben Hill and Worth counties. Yeah. And a bunch of other counties further down to the south. But again, this could start to come, maybe move further up to the east, northeast, maybe clip that Jacksonville area in southern Telfair County, but that remains to be seen. As of right now, I do think it's going to generally follow this pretty easterly direction that we are seeing with this tornado right now that is in eastern Telfair County.
Yeah, and I'm just checking out the velocity on this. It just does not look good, which is good news. We don't want it to look good, right? If we did see something, I think it would have been back towards Georgia 341, but I'm hoping we can let this warning go, because, this just looks not good. Not good in the sense of trying to produce a tornado. It looks great from from an impact standpoint, right? We don't want a tornado, but that does not look good at all. So I tell you what, since we're coming up here on 7 o'clock, let's see if we can get some things ready to check in on. Maybe we can check in with Freha if she's available, because I know we've had some impactful events this morning. What we're going to do is, well, Alex, I don't want to run to break just yet because we still have an active tornado warning. We got to stay on at least while, not that Alex, I'm pretty sure Alex, lots of Alexes in the buildings. We got to stay on while this is still here, but maybe we can incorporate some other things as well, just because this doesn't look the best in the moment.
I will note that they did take off that portion that extended over into Hazelhurst of this tornado warning. So
yeah, that Jeff Davis County part. I think they ran that till 6:45 and it expired. But we still have our tornado warning for Telfair and Wheeler until 7. But they might expire this. They cancel it. Okay.
Yep.
So they just canceled the warning. That's good. Let's send things over to Caitlin and Frederick. I believe we're going to go check in with Freha.
Yes, all right. Thank you, Alex. We have been talking about a lot of power outages this morning. We're seeing a lot of damage